there, thank you for joining. Today we want to go over the implementation matrix as well as some helpful tips and tricks for using Smartsheet. First and foremost, implementation will always use the same matrix project plan, and they'll share this with the functional teams for every new client that we're bringing on with Empower. It's important to know the structure of the client matrix to make sure that all teams are staying on track and how to use this to make sure that everything is updated efficiently. You'll see that the system is laid out with showing several different milestones. So you can see our first one here is called kickoff. And as we scroll down, you'll see several additional ones such as data collection. We'll have company setup information, employee tax, etc. Every section is also going to have deadlines that are set. So these are going to be respective for the milestone, and the implementation consultant does assign these when they create the matrix before they share it with the team. As these are completed, you'll be able to enter a date in the setup completion date. So you'll see if you click in the box here, there's an actual calendar view so you can choose when these have been completed. On the right side of the screen, we have several different options here. I want to highlight the summary function. The summary function will give you some more information in respect to the client implementation you're working on. You'll be able to see the employer ID assigned, the client ID, the client name, the pay period dates for their first payroll with Empower. You'll also have an indication to show you when the weekly touch bases are scheduled with the client. There will also be a hyperlink to the bird as well as the client service details. For a client-specific email address, that'll be found here as well as the service team phone number. And then beyond this, you're going to be able to see all of the team members that are assigned to this project, including the sales team. If we scroll all the way down here, you will also be able to see tasks done to completion. So it's important to make sure that you're updating your tasks in a timely manner. Leadership will review this. We are reviewing this to make sure that we can see if the implementations are on track, and making sure that everything is updated will show us a percent to completion as the project is moving along. Now there is some color coding that will be displayed in the system. These lines will highlight different colors depending on the upcoming time frame. So if my deadline date here, let's say, is tomorrow, you will see that the system is going to indicate this in the color of yellow. This is telling me that this is upcoming and it's something that I need to get done. However, if this has been in the past, this will actually turn red. So based on the deadline date, if I am past my deadline and I have not updated, the system is designed to show you, based on the color, things that are a sense of urgency. I'm going to go ahead and just delete that out of here. We'll go back to a clean sheet, close the Smartsheet summary. A couple things that I want to point out that are super helpful on how to use Smartsheet if you've never used the system before is how to enter comments and to tag people. So depending on the line item you have that you're going to be working on, if you need to share an item with somebody or you want to ask somebody for a question on that particular line item, you'll see on the left-hand side here we have a couple different options. There is a little question bubble that'll allow you to add a comment. So if I go ahead and click on that on the line that I'm referencing, I can go ahead and add a comment here. If I want to get somebody else's attention, I do need to use the @ sign and begin typing in that person's name to select accordingly to leave the comment. Once that comment has been entered, they will receive an email notification alerting them that something has been placed here and needs their attention. You can add a general comment, maybe if it's just for yourself, and you can just hit enter, or you can use a little arrow button here to attach it. Similar, you also have the attachment option. It looks like a little paper clip. So you can see here, I already have an attachment on this line, a few on the above ones. And if I want to add one here, I can either drag and drop the files from my computer directly into this window here. I also have the option to browse my computer to attach a file. I can upload it directly or from different links if necessary. So throughout the implementation process, you'll want to make sure that you're updating accordingly any files that are specific for those lines. Now, when the matrix is initially created, the implementation consultant does share this with all of the team members that are assigned on the project. However, if for some reason the project assignments are changing or there's anyone on your team that needs additional access, you can click the share button at the top right, and you'll be able to invite an additional person. By default, those that are being invited will have editor access, but they can still share this as well. And you can add a helpful message in the middle of the screen here if you want to update anything additionally when you send it out. The system also allows for update requests, so this is super helpful. If you're looking at a particular line item and you'd like to request an update from that person that's been assigned as the setup owner, maybe it's past the deadline and you're looking to check in on where they are with the status, you can simply right click on the line item and click Send Update Request. You'll be able to indicate who you want to send it to. You can totally change the subject line item here and then enter a specific message. You can carbon copy yourself and you can go ahead and click Send. You can also choose to edit the delivery date if you want to do that as well. I'm going to just hit cancel here. And if you wanted to update the request for multiple line items, you can hit Control and select the applicable lines that you need. Right click, send update request. And it's going to do the same thing, but it's going to give a whole condensed update request for all of those lines that you're asking for. There's also a widget on the right hand of the screen here where we access the sheet summary. This one's called Update Request. So if you were to click on here, any outstanding update requests are going to be listed. The system also allows you to set reminders for yourself or others. So on that same area on the left-hand side of the screen, we have a little bell icon. That little bell icon will allow you to set a reminder for that particular task. So maybe a couple days before, you want to set yourself a reminder to make sure that that's done, or if you want to follow up with somebody. You can see at the top here, it's going to tell you who that reminder is going to be sent to. So you could click on that and you can add additional people. They can go to multiple people or a single person. You can check when you want to have that reminder sent on, and then you can add the applicable message here and click save. And what happens is that morning of that date that you're setting the reminder, whatever that message is that you're sending is going to send via email to those applicable parties. This is super helpful, just making sure that you can stay on task with things. That way you don't have to fill your calendar and Outlook with a bunch of reminders. The system will generate these for you. Another helpful tool that you can use if you want to reach all parties on the Smartsheet that you're using for a particular project, you can go to File and you can go to Email Shared Users. For things like big status changes, you can come here and where it says All Shared Users, you'll just want to click that, uncheck, scroll down to the bottom, and start picking those people that you need to make sure that this is sent to who are working on the project with you. You can change the subject and add any applicable messaging. And as a reminder, you can still carbon copy yourself here. We also have on the right side of the screen an activity log. So if you were curious and needed to come in here and see any kind of changes that were recently made, there is an historical log that will show any kind of time that people have logged in and viewed the sheet, if they've attached anything in particular, if they've changed any cells. So just kind of a nice historical access. Once you start working with client implementations, you might find that you have a lot of different smart sheets to keep track of. Not to worry, on the left-hand side here, you do have a little clock menu, and that is showing your recently opened items. What's great here is once we have this open, you can actually pin your quick access items to the top here, and then there's always going to be a running list of recently opened ones. So in the bottom here, I can see my recently opened ones. If I hit the thumbtack, that is going to pin them at the top here, and these will always be listed here. So super easy for me to come and go and access these as needed. Once I'm done utilizing them, maybe it's the end of the project and I don't need quick access for these anymore, I can go ahead and click on the little three bubbles here, and I can go ahead and remove the pin. I can also remove them from recent, so the items that are listed below here, if I don't want to see those anymore, I can do the same thing, but remove from recents. Similar process, if you want to save them as a favorite, you can go ahead and click the star icon here at the top next to the name. It'll indicate once the star is illuminated, and then it'll list over on the top, on the left side of the screen here under your favorites. We'll pop over then to your homepage. So the homepage at the top left here, a couple key things that are nice. If there are any requests that have been specifically sent to you, those will populate here. You can see I currently have 0. And then any outstanding requests that you've sent to team members for various projects will be listed here. In this case, you can see that there are 22 open ones that I have sent, and I can take a look and see which ones those are. You have a couple functions from all of these options here. I can go directly to that sheet, I can see additional info, and I can cancel the request if needed. As a final reminder for Smartsheet access, you do need to have a full user license to create various sheets within the system. So if you feel that your access might look a little weird or something that you saw today is off, please reach out to your leader with any questions to make sure that you have the appropriate access to the system. And of course, if there's any questions, make sure to reach out, make sure you understand how to use the system, especially for the implementation matrices. Always check in with your implementation consultant to see if there's anything that you might be behind on. If they have any questions, they're definitely here to help you with this system. Thanks for joining.